Welcome back here with your favorite family, the Savages.
Hey.
Make sure you turn on your post notifications, subscribe, like, and share to a friend. Follow us on all of our social medias. And that's about it, right?
Love it.
So today we're here to tell you about our marriage story, which people have asked us about. I wouldn't necessarily say it's part of the love story.
Is that what you're making say? Marriage story? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Wedding story, marriage story.
Marriage story, wedding story.
Is it the same thing?
I just story about the wedding.
I like that.
Sound good?
Just speaking patois forever.
I chat in a patois forever, as wife said. So, I tell you my story how it go from the day before the wedding to the day after the wedding. Cool? Alright, so, anything to say?
No, he does so much better telling the story than I do, so.
Alright.
I'm gonna just let him, if I have to chime in.
So. No, I'm gonna speak in English. Anyway, so the day before we got married, we drove to Jersey because it was the most opportune place for us to actually get married because all of my family could go there and find places to stay, and it was a cheaper venue. Plus, they added, they allowed us to have more people there. So everybody was coming in the way that they were supposed to, whether they were flying or driving. Everybody was getting there, except for one of her friends who got there a little bit late. Shout out to Alex, who was my favorite.
I mean, she didn't get there late for the wedding, but she was late for like the event.
She got there late for the events, right? So she got there and her, I'll let you tell that part.
Okay, so my memory, it's so bad, so it's a little hazy. So Alex arrived a little bit later than everyone else. Everyone was flying in from Ohio. She came from Texas. So with her flight, she arrived, but her luggage did not. And so she already was there later, and she didn't want to miss out on the festivities, miss out hanging out with us. So she came to the hotel, but the airlines were like, you have to come back to get your bag. So this is the day before our wedding, I think?
Night before.
Night before. So we knew that we'd have to probably take her back or get her transportation to go back to the airport. So what happened? Did we go to dinner that night or?
We went to dinner that night at Cheesecake Factory.
And she came because she was at the hotel.
Yeah, she came with us. And then afterwards, we had to drive back from Central Jersey to Newark International, which is probably 45 minute drive. But it was raining. It was the middle of the night.
It was the night before our wedding.
The night before our wedding, right? So we're supposed to have bachelor parties. We didn't have none of that shit.
Yeah.
And then...
But it wasn't her fault for that.
It was not her fault. But we had to drive back, right? The one thing I didn't notice on our way to the airport is that we didn't have...
We didn't have gas.
Any gas. Aubrey was driving. I'm just going to point that out. Aubrey was driving. On the way back, I drove because it started to piss rain. And then I'm realizing, damn, we don't have any gas. And for anybody who knows anything about New Jersey, gas stations are not open after 10 p.m. unless you catch a Wawa or, one of those type, a Quick Check. Gas stations are not open. So pretty much we're alone and afraid in the dark.
Yeah, it was bad. My anxiety was at a 10. It was terrible. We could not find any gas stations. We kept plugging into the GPS, seeing if we could find the closest one. It would take us to these really windy roads, and it just all kept coming to a dead end. Everywhere was shut down. They were closed. It was dark. It was awful to the point where the car was literally we have 1 mile left before it's completely on
Pretty much.
And we were nowhere near a gas station. So we ended up having to park the car before it completely broke down in this crazy, it looked like just the redneck area. It looked like something out of a scary movie. So we get to a safer part of Jersey. We parked the car, and thank God we're in a place where he has family and friends. He was able to call one of his friends. He came to save the day. Shout out to Taz. Thank you so much. You literally saved us.
That's my brother.
Yeah, he brought us gas. So that was the first hiccup in our weekend. So we literally got got stranded. We were stuck there for maybe about an hour, hour and a half. And keep in mind, like, I think we hadn't even left the hotel to go get her stuff until like 10 o'clock. So this is like going almost until midnight. Yeah. He brings us gas. We're good to go. We like head back to the hotel. Like everything, like on the way back, I'm just like, okay, just breathe. Because I was so anxious. Like I was freaking out the entire time.
And we were laughing because we was like, bruh.
Like for real.
Taz pulled up and was like, dog, how you run out of gas? I'm like, I wasn't driving.
Yeah, it was bad. So that was the night before. So now let's go to the day of the wedding.
The day of, okay, I guess I'll tell my part. So the day of the wedding, I ate my food.
This is important. Just know, like, this isn't just like...
We're foreshadowing. So I ate my leftovers from the appetizer I got the night before at Cheesecake Factory. And I ate that at probably like 11 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And then I proceeded with my day. Aubrey took the car. She went to go get her makeup done. Mm-hmm. She went to go get her hair done with my mom. What else did you do that day? That was it?
That was pretty much it, yeah.
And then they left me to take care of my little brother. My mom and Aubrey left me to take care of my little brother. To decorate the wedding.
Yeah, we did like a really small COVID wedding.
Right. And in the beginning of it, I had to decorate my own wedding. I was the only person there actually doing any decorations for it. Afterwards, Alex came and told me to go back up to my room, and her and the rest of Aubrey's friends took care of the decorations. Mm-hmm. I went up and got dressed, and as I was getting dressed, my boys Ty and Taz, yep. They both showed up and they were like, hey, we don't have any clothes. Typical N-word shit, right? How you about to be at a wedding and you ain't get no damn clothes yet? It don't make no sense. But anyway, we go to the mall that's down the street.
We go, he went with them. So he went from having like no time on his hands to enough time to go to the mall the day of our wedding to go shop with his friend.
Okay, so I went from having no time on my hands to Alex saving the day and doing all the decorations. So now it's 4 or 5 hours before the wedding and I have nothing to do and there's nobody here for me because everybody left to go get their hair done, their makeup done, like all that shit. So I'm alone and afraid, like, damn, I'm about to get married and I have nobody to just chill with and vibe with. So when they came over, I was like, it's only right that I go to the mall with y'all. So we go to the mall and I ended up pretty much picking out their suits for them. So I picked out their outfits for them and we proceed with the day. But mind you, like, it took a while. So by the time I got back to the hotel, we're probably like 30 minutes out and I need to go throw my clothes on and get ready for this wedding. And she's in the other room with her friends getting dressed. Yeah. And
I mean, I was dressed like an hour and a half before the wedding was supposed to start. And I think he was still at the mall by the time I was like already dressed. So me and my girls were like sitting together, like they're giving me gifts because it's like my wedding day, and we're like just almost crying because I don't want to ruin my makeup and having like a moment. So I'm like what is Rain? Like what's going on? And then keep in mind, like I actually ate. Like I ate multiple times. I was 4 months pregnant. Like I'm not about to skip a meal. So I was well fed. He's still at this point.
I know this sounds crazy, but it's gonna make so much sense.
Yeah, while we're talking about food. Okay, so anyways, let's fast track to the actual like ceremony. So by this point he's back, he's dressed, I'm dressed. Right. Everyone's like telling me like you have to wait, just keep waiting. I'm like, what am I waiting for? Like this wedding was supposed to have been started. Like what am I waiting for?
Let's say the wedding, I don't remember exactly what time, but let's say the wedding was supposed to start at 4, right? Now, everybody that's familiar with black people are majority late except for these business women. And then Jamaicans are always late. Doesn't matter if they're businessmen or women. Doesn't matter. They're always fucking late. Anyway, we get there. The food is late, which my uncles catered. My grandfather is nowhere to be found. And my mother is there. Aubrey is waiting. And I'm like, you need to chill because, I don't want you to come down here before everybody's actually ready. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm setting up the tripod, which this camera is on. And while I'm setting up the tripod, my mother comes in and she goes, hey, I need the Zoom link to send to my grandmother. So I'm like, all right, cool. I send my mother the Zoom link. The only 3 people that were supposed to be on the Zoom link are my father and everybody he's with, my grandmother, and Aubrey's grandmother. For whatever reason, my mother decided to send this Zoom link to everybody in the congregation, right? So I'm looking at the phone and it's just like 1,000 people. Probably not 1,000, but it felt like 1,000 people. And I'm like, damn, what the hell is going on? And I'm clicking on people, clicking on people, clicking on people. And mind you, it's a COVID wedding, so there's not supposed to be that many people actually in the building. That's why we had the Zoom link. And while I'm doing it...
Ayana, too, was on there.
Ayana, too, was on there. But while we're doing it, my barber pulls up. And he's just like, yo, I'm here. What's up?
He was like dressed too. Like
he pulled up. He was dressed down. Like, mind you, I did not have to dress this man. He pulled up, dapper down, like coming into my wedding, and I'm like, you were not invited.
But I'm glad you're here.
But I'm glad you're here. Can you record this for me and can you accept the Zoom links so that I can go do what I have to do for my wedding? So shout out to Meaty. I love you, my bro. But that was crazy. And all while this is happening, Aubrey is coming down the hallway. And I'm like, damn, like we weren't even supposed to be starting yet. I was waiting to give you the green light. My grandfather comes in and Aubrey comes in through the back door and my mother goes out the front door for whatever reason.
Another little back part. You know how most people practice for their weddings, like the day before, week before, whatever they do.
We ain't do none of that shit.
We did not practice. He had no idea like what song we were walking down to. I didn't decide the song until literally like an hour before the wedding. Like when I tell you this stuff was like just on the fly, like on the whim, we're just putting it together. So we just knew that like, cause my dad was the one officiating the wedding. So he's the one at the not altar, but like at the front. And so typically your dad walks down the aisle and I'm like, I love that for us, but no, I'm good. Like I want him to be a part of the wedding, but I want him to be, you know, front and center officiating. I wanted Randy and I to have something special. So we decided that we would walk down the aisle together. So he was gonna walk, like stand at the end and then wait for me to come in. That's all that we knew. We didn't know how to walk. We didn't know how to step. We didn't know how to smile. We were supposed to be still.
Nothing.
We knew nothing.
We knew nothing.
All right, so fast forward. His mom walks out. I walk in.
She walks in literally like a revolving door. Shoo! So my mom is out and the ceremony is starting because Aubrey just walked in. She meets me at the end of the aisle and we walk down together. And I, for whatever reason, like y'all see me, I'm all animated and shit. I'm stoic. I'm like.
And I'm just awkward. I'm like, because my heart is. I was so.
Like I had no clue what to do. Like this shit was crazy. And we get up there and I'm looking like, what the hell is my mom? Mind you, her father has already started officiating. He already started doing his job, doing what he has to do. But the whole time,
flowers. I'm like, where are my flowers?
She didn't have her bouquet. Like, shit's crazy. And the whole time, I'm just like, where the hell is my mom? Like, I'm trying to signal my brother, like, yo, go get mom. Nothing is happening. And Aubrey's like, just relax, stop. And I finally get my little brother to go get my mom. She comes back in. She's like, you can hear her outside. Oh, that means they didn't start there. They didn't start? Without me? I mean, I ain't there. And she runs back in with my sister. My sister's screaming. And we get back to the wedding as we're supposed to do, right?
After all this stuff has happened, like it's just thing after thing after thing. We're just not, like my dad has already started and I'm like trying to calm Randy down. Randy's trying to like organize everything while like we're starting our it was just a hot mess. It was a mess.
We was trying to do what we could do with no practice. And I don't know how much you guys know about what happens when you stand up straight. But like I said, I was standing real stoic and I was carrying myself very stoic and stern and I didn't smile much and I didn't know what to do. In the military, they teach you to bend your knees when you're at the position of attention. You got the pants on, it's all baggy and stuff. Nobody can see the little bend in your knees. You need to bend your knees to let the blood circulate. So for me, I'm standing up straight. And I'm staring Aubrey dead in her eyes. And the last thing that I remember is her father praying over me. And he's doing his thing. And the next thing I know is my mother is over me. The blood of Jesus! The blood of Jesus! The blood of Jesus! Yes, sir! The blood of Jesus! And her father's over me. Yeah.
And Randy's like, what are you doing?
What the fuck is going on here? Like,
What?
everybody's over me, and I'm like, bro, what is happening? Like,
Yeah.
the last thing I remember is he started praying, but now everybody is praying. And I'm like, why are y'all screaming at me,
There's
fam?
literally probably 15 people.
What had
around
happened
him.
was, what happened? Can you tell them what happened?
I mean, I can like see Randy like kind of going in and out of it, right? So I'm like, babe, are you good? Like, stop playing, because he's goofy. You see he's goofy? I'm like, if you're playing, quit playing. Like, now is not the time to play. And so he's just like, I will never forget the look in his eyes, but he was like there, but not there. So next thing you know, he's just swaying back and forth, and then kind of swaying like this, and just falls over. I'm like, eyes roll to the back of his head. I'm like, oh shit.
I fainted.
He fainted.
Rings are very large in their significance. They're made of a precious metal and precious stone. And that reminds us that love is not cheap or common. But indeed, love is very costly to get us.
Yeah, that happened.
That happened at our wedding.
That happened
so I'm
at the
like, do
wedding.
you really want to do this? Are we good? Like, is this what we need to be doing right now?
I was all in. I was just, like I said,
just didn't eat.
I didn't eat nothing. I was
Overwhelmed.
tired. I was doing a lot.
Legs
Nervous,
knocked out.
I'll say that. Yes, I was a little bit nervous. I'm getting married, and we didn't do no practice, and we about to just do the damn thing. So yes, there was some nerves in there.
Yeah.
And it was really just a lot on everything. So yeah, I went down like a rock, but she caught me, my wifey.
I'm gonna always hold you down, boo. I'm about to get
But
my-
she held me up technically.
Yeah, held
and
you.
my mother, shout out to my mother because she catch me on the other side. Mm-hmm. So it was great. Like,
yeah, I mean, this is definitely, we'll never forget our wedding just because of, there was just so many things going on, and especially the fact that you fainted. I think that like at first it was so tense because you could just feel like we were a bit overwhelmed to start because we had no idea what was going on, and then he
Right.
fainted, and I feel like that kind of changed the whole vibe because everyone at first like freaked out, but then it was kind of funny because Randy's like, what the fuck, like, let's do this thing.
and
So-
anybody that know me, they know
Yeah.
that they're like, you can ask anybody that was at the wedding. There's like,
Yeah.
you're not the type of person to faint. This
No.
is so confusing. Like, out of everybody that we know, you went down. This shit don't make no sense. But if you know me, you know we ran it back.
We ran it back. And it was-
did the whole wedding over.
It was fun. Like
It
after
was
that point, like everybody was
beautiful.
chill. It was such a beautiful time, and
We did our gender reveal the same day.
Yeah.
Alex was the only person that
Alex
knew.
was like, stop talking about me in y'all videos. Every video, I'm coming up. Leave me alone.
Hey, we've already said it. That's my favorite, right? So Alex was the only person that knew that Sage was a boy. So during the actual gender reveal, she had the little streamer pop things, and she was trying to figure out how to get it to work, and it actually went off, and there was
Yeah.
a slight pause
Because no
in
one
the room.
understood, and then we saw all the blue, like, oh.
Me and my little brother, like, oh shit, it's a boy.
Jordan. I don't know.
So yeah, we flipped shit, like we're so excited, and you know we had to do some stuff for the aesthetics.
Exactly, we just ran it back again. We
redid
ran it back.
and everybody else celebrated, even though we already knew it was a boy. So yeah, we did all that just to do that again.
Yeah.
And that was great. Everything went smooth until the next morning
Oh gosh,
when
I forgot about this part.
She forgot about this part.
Can we just fast forward? So pretty much, can you care if I just summarize real quick? Because this is about to be a long video again.
Pretty much, her friends
broke my car.
Broke her car.
Love you guys, but you guys broke my car.
They broke her trunk. The trunk wouldn't close. They wouldn't wait on me. I told them the shit wouldn't fit. They tried to make it fit anyway. The sensor in the trunk broke. So they ended up having to take an Uber to the airport anyway. And then we ended up having to drive back from New Jersey to
2.5 hours.
To central Pennsylvania, 2.5 hours
with the
damn beeping of the trunk, because the trunk wouldn't close, and I had to use bungee cords and everything to lock it up to get over here, and then we took it down to the dealership and got it fixed, whatever.
Yeah.
All that the next day, right? When we get home, that's when shit decided to go south. For what reason, I don't know. My ex is hitting me up, talking about I need to talk to you.
What? For what?
Can I call you?
Call us.
So me, if you know me, I ain't with the fuckery. I'm like, wifey, look at this shit. And she said, call her. And I was like, okay. And I called her, and Shorty is on the phone like crying and saying that I'm sorry and all different types of shit. Like, you know, I'm happy for you, but I don't even remember. I really don't remember exactly what she said. I just remember that she was crying.
Yeah.
And she was saying that she regretted some shit.
She wished that she would have done things differently with him.
Yeah, she wished
she
did
her
things.
life, all this bull crap. And I'm
all
just
this
like,
shit, and I'm just
wait
like,
until he gets married to call him.
Literally, like.
This. So Randy's like, no, we're not gonna do this. Like, no.
She asked me who was on the phone. She asked me if I was by myself, and I'm like, no, I'm with my wife, and you're on speaker. She hung up. And I never spoke to her again. I actually texted her afterwards and said, out of respect for me and my family, please don't text me, don't call me, just no communication whatsoever. I wish you all the best, but just leave me the fuck alone, because I do not have time for this shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, man.
It was a lot. So I just feel like in this season, like, it was so beautiful for us, and we have so many stories to tell. So like, this is an experience that we'll never forget, and I love it for that. But I think that in like certain parts of your life where it's the most beautiful, like, people are gonna hate on you, they're gonna try to bring you down.
Bad mind, hypocrite, and jealous.
Exactly.
Fuck them, fire myself.
And so you just got to make sure that you are always policing the people around you, policing your energy, your space. And sometimes just know that you're getting tested to be able to elevate to the next level. And I feel like we went through all of those things, and we continue to go through things together to show that if we combine and just combine our love, we can get through anything. And I feel like that weekend, no matter what obstacle, we found a resolution. And so it was kind of like the foundation for the rest of our relationship. No matter what we come across, no matter what we endure, like, us together, we're unstoppable, and that's just all that it's going to be. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I gotta get our baby because I do not want to hear him crying. We love you guys, and stay tuned for our next video.
Later.
Later.